Niccolò Machiavelli once described hesitation as a fatal flaw, and that sentence is the spine of this episode. History is full of good men who lost everything, not because they were weak, not because they were stupid, but because they refused to act when it mattered most. Picture a leader who reads the right books, speaks truth to power, treats people fairly, and believes power must always be clean. Now picture that same leader watching corruption grow because they refuse to choose the uncomfortable option. This is not a call to become ruthless. It is a warning about moral fragility. Goodness without strategy becomes surrender in slow motion. Many people assume that virtue automatically creates good outcomes. It does not. Outcomes are shaped by incentives, pressure, and the decisions made when the cost is high. The real question is simple. Do you want to feel morally right, or do you want to protect what matters? The strongest leaders choose both, but that requires design, not hope. When you delay necessary action, you are not preserving peace. You are allowing decay to compound. Power is not lost in one dramatic collapse. It leaks through small tolerated wrongs. By the time the damage is visible, the foundation is already cracked. Look at patterns across history, organizations, even friendships. Integrity without enforcement becomes predictability. Predictability becomes weakness. Systems rarely collapse because of a single villain. They collapse because good people tolerated what they should have corrected. A skipped accountability meeting. A lie ignored to avoid conflict. A policy unenforced because the violator is valuable. Each moment feels minor. Together they create culture. Institutions amplify whatever behavior they allow. If dishonesty brings reward and no consequence, dishonesty becomes strategy. Good people lose power because they assume others will respond to conscience the way they do. But systems respond to incentives. Values written on paper mean nothing without consequences attached to violations. To preserve moral outcomes, you must build structure around your virtue. That means defining who decides in crisis, what triggers investigation, and how transparency is maintained. Without architecture, even heroic character becomes fragile. You cannot rely on personality alone. You must create a framework that protects integrity when pressure rises. Hesitation is not only structural, it is psychological. Human beings are wired to avoid social pain. Criticism feels like danger. Being disliked feels like exile. Many good leaders fear that firmness will stain their identity as kind. So they postpone difficult conversations and call it patience. Cognitive traps reinforce this delay. The bystander effect convinces you someone else will act. Moral licensing whispers that your past good deeds excuse present silence. Confirmation bias protects your self-image. You focus on evidence that proves you are compassionate while ignoring signs that your inaction harms others. None of this requires evil intent. It only requires comfort. But leadership demands tolerance for discomfort. When you avoid conflict to protect your reputation, you trade short-term approval for long-term respect. Eventually, the people you meant to protect feel abandoned. The lesson is harsh but clear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is disciplined action despite fear. If you do not train yourself to move through discomfort, your goodness will slowly convert into complicity. So how do you prevent this slide? You operationalize your morality. Start by defining 3 non-negotiables, behaviors you will not tolerate under any circumstance. Publish them. Clarity reduces hesitation because the decision has already been made in advance. Next, create an escalation ladder. Private correction, formal warning, public consequence. When everyone understands the process, enforcement feels predictable rather than personal. Then institutionalize accountability. Rotate responsibilities. Require documentation. Build transparency into the system so decisions are reviewable. This reduces emotional burden because you are following structure, not impulse. Surround yourself with principled allies who can challenge you and support difficult moves. Isolation magnifies fear. Alliances distribute courage. Finally, master firm kindness. State the violation, explain the harm, outline the consequence, and offer a path to restoration. Discipline without cruelty is possible. In fact, it is often more humane than permissiveness, because it prevents harm from spreading. Strategy does not corrupt virtue, it protects it. Consider real-world scenarios. A nonprofit director refuses to remove a high-performing fundraiser accused of bullying because donations matter. Staff morale collapses. Talent leaves. The mission weakens. The delay meant to protect the organization slowly destroys it. Swift investigation and transparent enforcement would have hurt in the moment but preserved long-term trust. Or imagine a business owner tolerating a top salesperson's deception because revenue looks good. Customers eventually lose trust and the brand erodes. Firing that salesperson feels brutal, yet it restores integrity and stabilizes growth. Even in personal relationships, the pattern repeats. Avoiding confrontation with a loved one's destructive behavior in the name of kindness often prolongs suffering. A boundary framed with care, "I support you, but I cannot enable this," may feel harsh, yet it protects both parties. Across contexts, the principle is the same. Short-term discomfort secures long-term strength. The refusal to act feels gentle, but its consequences are rarely gentle. Here is the reconciliation. Morality and power are not enemies. Power magnifies whatever values control it. If good people abandon power because it feels messy, they leave it to those who are comfortable using it without restraint. Stewardship is a craft. Write your non-negotiables. Build your escalation ladder. Appoint deputies who can act when you hesitate. Review decisions regularly. Rehearse hard conversations before crises force them. Communicate clearly why rules exist and whom they protect. When accountability becomes predictable, fear decreases and trust grows. The paradox of leadership is this: if you refuse to choose, the world will choose for you. And it rarely chooses in favor of the vulnerable. Goodness without design is fragile. Goodness with structure becomes resilient. If you want to protect what matters, your family, your team, your mission, do not rely on being a good person. Build systems that make good outcomes inevitable. That is not cynicism. That is responsible power.